All right, I greet you all. If today is the first time of coming across our video and you like the way we are propagating this gospel of freedom, please subscribe, like, and share. Very important. Please subscribe, like, and share. Very, very important. In the comment section, you will see our backup channel, Biafra 101 TV. I will equally implore you to subscribe to the channel. I greet you. All right. You know, I will still be using this Ibrahim Traore and Burkina Faso as a case study now, because what this man is fighting is same thing we are fighting, though we are fighting our own to liberate ourselves from Nigeria, but he himself is fighting to liberate Africa from no colonialist. And also Burkina Faso is fighting to liberate Burkina Faso from neo-colonialists, and also fighting to liberate Africa from neo-colonialists. You know, like I said, it's high time we look towards Moscow. I will keep saying it. If we want this freedom, if truly we want this freedom, you see Moscow, we must use one eye to look Moscow. We must make sure we knock at the door of Moscow. Believe it or not. If you don't like the video, I can't help it, but I have to speak that truth. You see Moscow, we have to use our corner eye. They look Moscow. Very important. You see this video here, you will listen to analysis of this our brother. When it comes to international politics, how to analyze what is playing in international politics, this our brother, now top notch. He knows it. He knows it very, 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 very well. He knows it. Now, you will listen to his analysis on what is going on between Russia, Ukraine, and US. Right here, you will see the reason why I said, you see Moscow, we must knock at the door of Moscow, because if Moscow gets our back, you will see change. Moscow getting our back will be a very, as in solid game changer. Here, you know, America, that was the mantra of Donald Trump, that if he becomes the president of America, he must make sure that the war that is going on between Russia and Ukraine will stop. These Westerners, you know, one thing, you see, what's his name? What's his name? Trump is not a regular politician. He will tell you, I am not a regular politician. He's a businessman. All his interest is how to make America great. His interest is how to do what? Make America great. He don't have that interest in, you know, looking into this country, looking into Africa, looking where to do what? To look for resources to enrich himself more. He is a made guy. God blessed him with wealth, and he's satisfied with the wealth that God blessed him with. But one thing we have to understand is this: so long as you've occupied any political post or position in this Western nation, there are people who are there to influence your policy, your decision, everything about your government. There are people who are there to influence it. That is where the problem lies. Don't get it twisted. The problem is not from JT Trump, but the problem are the policy makers, all these army generals, people who advise him. That is where the problem lies. These guys that advise him, or these guys that are his advisors, they are the people that will influence him either to look into Biafra issue or not to look into Biafra issue. They can tell him, man, forget about Africa. Our interest is not in Africa for now. Are you getting it now? Our interest is not in Africa. Now, I will tell you guys the difference between US and Russia. So these guys that surround the president of America, being Donald Trump, they are the people that have a very big role to play. Either Trump will look into our matter or not. Now, you know, Moscow have presented their own, how will I put it now, their own bargain. You want peace to reign, we are out for peace. And what our criteria, what our take for this peace to reign? One, the people that has been fighting to liberate themselves from Ukraine, like we Biafra, you know, they are Donbass and forgotten Crimea, all those well, I say tribe, all those tribes in Ukraine that have been fighting. They're supposed to be in Russia, but you know, like the case of we Biafra joining us together in Nigeria. This is the case these guys are going through in Ukraine, and they've been fighting to liberate themselves from Ukraine. They said, okay, if you guys don't want us to have our own nation, we speak Russian, we want to join Russia back. They said no. We want to be on our own. They said no. The same thing with us. Okay, at first, we want regional government, let's stay on our own, manage our resources, control our region. Fulani, Nigeria, Britain, they said no. Okay, we want to be on our own. They said no. The same thing applicable to these people now in Ukraine. Do you know the condition Moscow placed on table? You see, these people, they've conducted a referendum, and in that referendum, they voted massively that they want to pull out from Ukraine and join Russia. They will also be they will also be part of the Confederating Nation of Russia. You know, this is part of the demand of Moscow, and the US have approved it. They called Zelensky, hey, listen, so long as these people have conducted referendum like we Biafrans, as we've conducted our own referendum, we voted willingly that we want to leave Nigeria. The same thing applicable to this nation or to this tribe in Ukraine that said we want to leave Ukraine. The way we conducted our own referendum is the way they did theirs. Now Moscow said, Putin said, one, these people, you see this their referendum they conducted to leave Ukraine, it must be considered, and US have approved it. Before the war started, they said any territory we occupy, we will take over that territory. US approved it. You get a point now? Now the one that called himself Zelensky is doing shaking head that he no go agree, no go agree. I know say the next thing they will do him now. You see this thing, you see this condition Moscow placed on the table for peace to reign. Come rain, come sun, it must be what? It must be granted, because Moscow is involved. Moscow is involved, so it must be granted. Do you see the reason why I said we need to look towards Moscow as we are looking towards the West? Imagine if Moscow is backing us and this issue of Biafra becoming a free nation or independent nation happens to be discussed, and Moscow happens to be what? To be part of the negotiation, the negotiator. Don't you know what will happen? That means we've gotten our freedom now. You see this Donbass, Crimea, go and write it down. Before Trump leave office, they will do what? They will be part of Russia Federation. They will be part of Russia Federation. Now the difference, like I said, the difference between US and Moscow is this. The people who influences President of Russia, Vladimir Putin policy, they are not capitalist minded or capitalist oriented like that of America. All these people cares is how to do what? To protect Russia. All they care is to protect Russia because they know that Russia have a lot of enemies. But that of US, these ones are capitalist minded. They are looking for where African country, they will amass their wealth to enrich themselves individually. People who are influencing or people who are policy makers of US. Yes. But the people who are policy maker of Russia, they don't care any country they will go and loot their resources. No, all they care, what are we going to do to protect Russia? Because we know that Russia gets enemy. What kind of armory are we going to produce to make sure that if in case of eventuality, we won't be taken unaware? That is the mindset of the policymaker of Russia, of Moscow. Do you see the reason why we have to be looking towards Moscow? You will listen to the analysis here. You will listen to the analysis. Biafrans, you see this time around, we need to get it right, because if we fail to get it right, everything is in our hands. Like I said before, all we need to do is, once we meet Moscow, once we get to Moscow and meet the real guy there, being Vladimir Putin, all we need to do is to tell him, you see, Britain, if you want Britain, though they know because they have their intels, you know, even the man in charge is former KGB director. When Soviet Union was dissolved, he was the one, he is part of the whole thing. You see that war, he was there, right there in that war, that Berlin War. He was right there. Then he was the KGB director. So he knows all, there's nothing he don't know. They are only waiting for us to give them signal, because they can't just come. Now we go knock their door. Now we go meet them. They know our case. Even there was a time their foreign minister said, we are ready to liberate any Africa who are still under colonial influence. We are going to liberate them, including people who are in the bite of Biafra. That is where they send us signal, and we are chasing shadow. We are chasing shadow. Yes, to me right now, currently, we are chasing shadow. I do get confused. We prefer Sagaiana on social media when we have declared our nation. Instead of us to focus, think tank, brainstorming, bringing idea on how to go to make sure that this our nation is actually what? Liberated from Nigeria. And Ngozi brought trouble here, they distract them mad. But we can't continue to be, talking about Ngozi. Yes, he betrayed Simon. Like Simon said, you can betray me, but you will not succeed. We've seen that she has betrayed Simon, but where she's having problem now is in succeeding in the betrayal. Yes. So my good Biafra, my dear people, good people of Biafra, we need to do what? Kaikubene this thing now. Biafra. People have died for the sake of Biafra. And it will be a very, in fact, it's better that we never even, this our generation, never talk about Biafra than after people buy for the sake of Biafra this time around and we didn't achieve it. It will be a complete curse on us. It will be a curse on us because we have all it takes now. We have all it takes now. My candid suggestion is simple. People who are in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Biafra government in exile should look for means. Anybody that has the connection should look for contact to touch down Ouagadougou. Yes, should look for means to touch down Ouagadougou and go and meet Ibrahim Traoré. That young guy have a golden heart. He knows what he's passing through now from this West. If our people present our case to him, he will know that we are equally, having the same challenges he himself and Burkina Faso are facing now. He will know. And with him, we can touch down Moscow. With him, we can connect to the real guy in Moscow, being Putin. It's not by answering and minister this and minister that in BRGI. No, this is time for work. This is time for work. As Ogenkere is focusing on Washington, let the people who are in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs do what? Look for means to start lobbying, because to me, all hands ought to be on deck. This time around, all hands ought to be on deck. I don't know who is the Minister of Foreign Affairs. It seems they said this is Irobi. Is it Joy Irobi? This is time for you to work. It's not by answering Minister of this or Minister of Foreign Affairs. It's time for you to work. Bring out your contacts and connection. At least, it seems you are Dr. Joy Irobi. I don't know. You can know how to do what? Put 1 or 2 calls. You need to start. This thing falls in your own jurisdiction. Oge is just a finance minister, finance minister, acting in this thing, in acting capacity for PM, for him to, for temporal time now he's not around. But this, for when it comes to lobby, when it comes to lobby, when it comes to diplomacy, engaging nations, for them to have interest in Biafra, for them to recognize Biafra, it falls in your own jurisdiction. it falls in your own jurisdiction. You have to start making contacts on how to look for African countries you will connect to. Present the case of Biafra to them. Tell them the case of Biafra, present it to them. Tell them what they stand to gain, what they stand to benefit if Biafra becomes a nation. Ask them the resources they have. By now, we ought to know the kind of resources we have in Biafra land. Forget about oil first. Most of these countries has oil, or the ones that don't have oil. Tell them that we are ready once we become an independent nation. Moreover, this oil is, is becoming outdated resources, natural resources. This oil, you see robots everywhere, electric cars everywhere. Before you know, with time, just 10 years from now, oil will be nothing. Oil will be nothing. And luckily for us, in that Biafra, we have a lot of solid minerals. Negotiate with them. It's all about give and take. Look at things we have. If you recognize us, we will give you this thing. If it is so number of years. Yes. So, Biafrans, I don't know if I'm speaking you guys' mind, because it's somebody that will say it on Madigeway. I don't know if I'm speaking you guys' mind. If I'm speaking your mind, write it in the comment section and make sure you share this video. Make sure you share this video. If you are of the opinion that we will look towards the Moscow, drop it in the comment section. Yes, put it in the comment section and try and share this video. Just listen to what this our brother analyzed in this video. I greet you all. Peace and love. You see this Biafra? It will come in our own time. You see this time? It will come in our own time. Peace and love.
United States said the only way to end this war in Ukraine quickly and also to reach a deal with Russia is to first recognize the 5 regions that voted to be Russia as part of Russia. They also said this region are populated with Russian citizens anyway. So what is the point of arguing that? Plus, they voted legally, lawfully in the referendum to be part of Russia, including Crimea. But Zelensky, who knows better than everybody, said it is a red line. What is red line? What exactly is red line about that? Can somebody watching the video right now please tell me what exactly does Zelensky mean it is a red line? He said he himself personally would never accept that. Russia is saying giving up the 5 regions are not the only condition they put forward. They also want to see demilitarization of Ukraine. At the moment, the law in Ukraine permits the size of the military to be up to about 800,000. Russia is saying that needs to change to 100,000. The Ukrainian talk of NATO membership is obviously dead, so we don't need to worry about that. That is done and dusted. That would never happen. Furthermore, the Russian and most of the leaders all around the world want to see Zelensky step down as soon as possible and allow somebody else to take charge of the country. With Zelensky being in power, there will never be peace in Ukraine. This is what most of the world leaders are saying. Now, Zelensky would not allow that to happen. I don't have to go into that. You already know. Mark Rubio and Donald Trump had already said yesterday United States would walk away soon if Zelensky does not accept the new proposal they have put forward. We don't know what is in the new proposal yet, but it has been drafted and sent to the Russian for consideration. And also, Ukraine is also looking at it. Mark Rubio and Donald Trump said they claim that Ukraine war is not United States war. They did not start the war in Ukraine. Zelensky and the EU started that war. Now, I completely disagree with that, but that is a story for another day. But what do you think? Trump said, you should only start a war if you have a chance of winning the war. But how could Ukraine foolishly start a war with a country that is stronger than Ukraine and the EU, a country that is 20 times bigger than the EU and Ukraine, a country that has one of the most sophisticated weapon equipment and military in the world? Why would you start a war with such a country? United States have other problems now all around the world. You know about them. They want to focus on those problems, not just Ukraine. I heard in the last few hours that the United States are now pulling their forces from Syria. That is really serious. United States is pulling their forces from Europe. That is serious. Donald Trump has plans for other things. There is a trade war going between USA and China at the moment. There's a war about to kickstart in the Middle East between Iran, Israel, and the United States. So there are loads of things that need to be focused on, not Ukraine. And Donald Trump is on his agenda. He said he would walk away. And you know, Donald Trump would do that. So let's wait to see what happened regarding this new proposal that was put forward by Donald Trump to Vladimir Putin and to Zelensky to consider. But either way, the EU continues to disrupt the process. They don't want to see this war end. Germany announced today, the 19th of April 2025, a new military aid package for Ukraine, including weapons, tanks, shells, and a lot of things. So you see that Europe doesn't want this war to end. But we will see the end of it. I mean, nothing ever starts in this war that has no end, right?